The ancient Hermetic secrets to alchemy and divine magic revealed. You have natural magical abilities that can elevate your life to a whole new level, as well as heal and help your loved ones and clients. The original teacher of this divine magic was an Egyptian sage named Hermes Trismegistus. And his teachings, called the Hermetics, and were only taught verbally or in cryptic writings, but in 1908, 3 Hermetic students wrote this down in a book called the Kybalion. These magical abilities that are inherent, inborn, and God-given. Since you were made in the image and likeness of the Creator, it makes sense then that you have creative abilities and divine power. And one of your life's purposes is to learn how to harness your gifts into loving and positive action. The Kybalion is a practical teaching manual for understanding and utilizing your divinity and your magical abilities. It's a classic esoteric self-help book that has taught countless people, including myself, how to put these Hermetic philosophies and teachings and principles into action. And because the Kybalion's language is now dated and sometimes cryptic, I was guided to create a voiceover of the actual text and the edited manuscript into modern language and add my own comments and practical application tools. And so I'm deeply honored by this assignment, and I carefully and prayerfully continue to execute this task. The Kybalion, maintaining the integrity of its meanings and teachings, I only remove dated references and archaic phrases, capitalizations and redundancies from the author's teachings. I left the original axioms from the Kybalion intact out of respect for the ancient wisdom and tradition. And my comments and examples are clearly distinguishable from the text of the Kybalion, so you'll know what comes from me and what comes from the original authors. Now, in ancient Egypt, a great spiritual teacher wrote books and lectured about the power of the mind to create and to heal. And his teachings were so profound and revolutionary that he was linked with Hermes, the great messenger deity, and Thoth, the Egyptian god of writing and mysticism. This teacher, most commonly called Hermes Trismegistus, which means thrice great or 3 times great. No one really knows for certain which 3 attributes this title refers to exactly. And while scholars can't agree on the dates of Hermes' life, it's believed that he was once a contemporary or even a teacher of Abraham the patriarch, and others claim that Hermes lived during the time of Moses. There's also controversy over the authenticity of the Emerald Tablet, or Tabula Smaragdina, so often attributed to Hermes, which contains the famous "as above, so below" phrase. And perhaps because of these controversies, Hermes' teachings have always been shrouded in veils of secrecy and mystery. The Hermetic principles were only given to those who'd undergone initiations of purification, learning, and skill building. The principles were primarily taught verbally and in secret. But Hermetic philosophy was incorporated into mystical Jewish teachings and the Alexandrian branch of Gnosticism, an ancient mystical Christian sect. And Hermes' books, which include the Corpus Hermeticum and the Divine Pymander, were translated first into Greek and then later into Arabic and Latin. Hermeticism and its offshoot, alchemy, were popular topics in the Middle Ages and Renaissance periods, roughly through 800 to 1600. And among its fans were Sir Isaac Newton and Carl Jung. During the Middle Ages, the Hermeticists studied in secret, since it was dangerous to write or verbalize any spiritual principle other than the reigning religions. And to do so was to risk being killed as a hermetic or heretic or even a witch. And the term hermetically sealed comes from this absolute secrecy surrounding Hermeticism. Now today, it's not only safe to study the practice of Hermeticism, it's one of the healthiest ways to live. And most students of metaphysics understand that thoughts create reality. Yet how do you control and focus your thoughts so that manifestations are at the highest and best level possible? I found the answer to that question within the Kybalion. And it taught me a method that keeps my thoughts, and therefore my moods, my health, my relationships, my finances, and such at a constantly high level. The term Kybalion refers to the verbal teaching traditions of Hermetic principles, which were taught at axioms or phrases, and then explained and expounded upon to initiates by advanced Hermeticists. And these individuals held the axioms in their memory banks and taught them to each other verbally. And they weren't in any written or text form until 1908, when 3 Hermeticists decided to publish them along with their interpretations. And the resulting book, the Kybalion, was authored. The 3 initiates is what is commonly referred to as a guide to the principles they'd learned through verbal traditions. Much speculation and controversy surrounds the identity of these 3 authors and the cryptic meaning of the term Kybalion. But if you read further, you know that recovering the knowledge of the ancient Egyptian, Mayan, and Greek teachings, they are imperative. The wisdom of these cultures, including the Hermetics, have helped me better understand my past and present lives. And the Kybalion is a wonderful distillation of these ancient teachings, and I believe you'll benefit from its messages. The Kybalion requires some study. I do believe that the best way to understand its teachings is by applying its principles to daily life. Read one principle and then hold the intention of looking for examples of its application in everyday context. And this can give you a thunderbolt aha insights, which are the best learning tools. And all this being said, may you enjoy the further awakening of your power and your divine magic within.